At first, Shelley wasn't sure what she was seeing. A bulging figure ambled towards her, head bent low, attire flapping in the wind. She couldn't help but walk towards it, to take a peek at who it might be. Then the clothes came into clearer view. The loose trousers, which is the only thing she could call them even though they weren't exactly trousers, were tucked into Wellingtons, billowing like Aladdin pants. The top looked far too thin for this chilly weather. It came down to the woman's knees, a sharp purple colour against the black of her unzipped anorak and hunters. The woman looked up, as if to see where she was going, and Shelley realised. Of course, it was Bilal's aunt. The vision of this foreign figure only added insult to the injury of finding out about Bilal seeking planning permission. She'd heard about the aunt, but to Shelley she'd become something of a mad woman in the attic figure, locked up in a room, never seen to leave the house. Shelley was about to turn around when Holly bounded towards the aunt, who backed away, flapping her arms and shooing Holly. "Honestly," sighed Shelley. "Holly! Here, girl! Back! Back!" The aunt yelped every time Holly barked. "You have to stop that or she'll think you're playing," shouted Shelley, picking up her pace towards them. "Holly, down! Hayallah, dafadar!" Holly had leapt up at the aunt, who would have fallen flat on her bum had Shelley not got there in time to save her. "You have to stop waving at her," she exclaimed. Shelley grabbed a stick and threw it as far as she could, which Holly dutifully ran after. "Kya?" "What?" "Kutte ne sare kapde pleat kar dete." "Sorry?" "Gandhi." "Gandhi? What did Gandhi have to do with anything?" "Haan, Gandhi." The aunt looked like she'd eaten a rotten egg as she tried to wipe her top. "Right. Well, I suppose you're all right." The aunt looked at Shelley closely, as if observing every wrinkle on her face. Honestly, didn't these people know not to stare? "I'll take that as a yes," added Shelley, ready to walk away. "It's slow," said the woman. "Sorry?" Bilal's aunt put her hands out. "I speak slow." Ah, here was the rub. Of all things, to be told to speak slow in her own language. "She thought you were playing." Shelley's voice rose a few decibels. "How are you?" Shelley felt her brows contract. "How are you?" Shelley cleared her throat. "Fine. Thank you." The aunt smiled. "I also fine, thanking you." They both stared at each other before the aunt put her hand out and said, "Me, Ruxana." Shelley extended her hand. She wouldn't have foreign people thinking the English were rude after all. "Shelley." Ruxana squinted into the distance, her face scrunched up in concentration. "Pleasing to meet you." Shelley looked at her, from wellies to anorak. What an ensemble. The aunt smiled. Shelley cleared her throat. The aunt still smiled. "Well," said Shelley. "Smile." After a minute of this, Shelley decided to say goodbye. "Goodbye," the aunt replied, taking Shelley by the arms and pulling her into an unprecedented hug. Shelley was so taken aback that she didn't have a chance to reach out her hand instead. It felt like a long time until Bilal's aunt released her, and Shelley realised that she'd forgotten her name. Something with a K? "Come, Holly," Shelley called out as she made her way towards the car. As she walked away, she glanced back. The aunt was still there, waving and smiling. Shelley honestly didn't know what to make of it.